Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, we could really use your help. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named the Too Opinionated podcast one of its top 100 podcasts. This is a monumental feat for this program. You know, we're a father and son team out of a small town in West Virginia, have been doing this for about 5 years. There's 15 million podcasts out there. About 40,000 of those get to the point that they're listed on IMDb. Out of those 40,000 out of the 15 million, we were ranked number 82. Something that we're just immensely proud of. We're so thankful for our listeners, our watchers, our fans. Thank you so, so much. If you would like to help us out, and we're asking for it, please. It's easy. It's really easy. It's free. If you go to IMDb, that's imdb.com, look up Too Opinionated Podcast, and just take a look at the page. That's all you have to do. I mean, you're welcome to look at the cast, look at the episodes so you can kind of see who's been on the program. Do whatever you want. But even just bringing up the page, imdb.com, Too Opinionated Podcast, bring up the page, look at it. That helps us so much. So please, if you can do anything, we would really appreciate that. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Love to have your subscription there. It's also free. And you can also check out our website, meistercon.com, where you'll find almost 700 episodes, audio and video, available on there. There's also a terrific blog from Brett, and it'll let you know anything that we have going on in studio, if we're covering a convention, if we're going on location, anything that we have going on will be on the website, meistercon.com. Thank you guys so, so much. We appreciate you so much. I can't express enough how appreciative we are of all of you. We never expected to do as well as we have, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much. Enjoy that interview. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. So excited today. I've got actress Drea de Matteo with me. So welcome, Drea.
Hi. I mean, I thought we were recording for that whole crazy conversation we were just having.
I wish we were, because we were going through like all of the state capitals and we weren't great at it.
Oh, nope. We need my kids for that.
It was a little disappointing. The number of capitals that we knew.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. I'm so excited to talk with you today. Been a fan of yours for a while, just like everybody has. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here this morning. It's morning for me. I mean, noon is morning for me.
It's lunchtime for you, but
it's still morning.
Yeah, that still counts. It depends on how early you got up.
I was up at 6.
Well, see, that's lunchtime then.
I'm done. I'm ready for now. This is nap time for me. This is my siesta
through the day.
I'm ready.
So Dre, we got a lot to talk about. I know we don't have a ton of time, but I like to start this way. Tell me a little bit about what got you into acting, because it's such a difficult profession. Why'd you want to go into the entertainment business?
I mean, I was kind of raised in it. My mom was a playwright. I think both my parents wanted to be actors, but in the Italian world, that meant you were a whore or something crazy, you know. So I had to carry the torch for them and make all their dreams come true. But I was in school for film production first. I wasn't really setting out to act, but then I realized that I just didn't really feel I had what it took to manage an entire production or
that's a lot.
A light meter. I mean, well, back in those days when I was in film school, we were filming on 16mm film, and then we had to develop the film and wait for it to be developed. I mean, every project was late. Then you had to get it to the editing room and cut the film and splice it together and see if it looked good like that. And then you add the music and you're splicing all that together too. It was such an insane, intense process. And then the light meter readings, like,
it's a wonder we have anything to watch, because that was a difficult process.
It was insane, but they were professionals and we were learning how to do it. But I can't imagine. I mean, kids that go to film school today don't learn that.
No.
So
No.
I jumped in front of the camera all the time and I was like, this is easier. So that was how.
But since then, have you directed or done anything behind the camera since then?
No, not really. No, I've been steadily in front of the camera. I mean, I don't really act now anymore. So now I'm just doing this. I do this. I make friends. Now I just make friends.
See, that's not a terrible way to go through life, though.
Because everybody hates each other these days. So I feel like it's really important to, reach out and touch someone.
Don't you miss the days where we all just liked each other, or we just kept it to ourselves so we didn't know that we didn't like each other?
Well, it was before we had this mania, these computers without, with apples with bites taken out of them and
Yeah. Yeah, social media, it's been so good in a lot of ways, but it definitely has hurt us in some ways.
So much. I mean, I don't know if you have kids, but
I do, grandkids too.
Yeah. Oh, what?
Yeah, I got 5.
You have 5 grandkids?
5 grandkids.
That's some
They're
West
young though. Like the oldest one's
Yeah.
getting ready to turn 5.
Wait a second. You look like you're 25.
Go on.
You have grandkids? You look so young.
You are so sweet. Thank you.
Are you like 37 years old?
Yeah. No, 54.
You are?
Yeah.
What is in the motherfucking water in West Virginia? I'm coming.
It's just clean living.
How? I mean, you don't even have a wrinkle on your face. 54. I'm 52. I look like they're ready to put me in a.
Oh, come on. There's nobody that would compare the two of us. Come on. But, maybe it's podcasting. I don't really have any stress anymore. I'm just a talking head.
Can I just tell you that when I had my podcast, I was never more stressed out in my life.
It's stressful.
Both of my podcasts were. I mean, I swore I'd never do it again.
Yeah, now you're good at it. You should do it again.
Them. I destroyed other people's podcasts instead.
Yeah, I've destroyed a few myself.
What is your show about? I see all of these characters.
Well, so when my son and I started it, and he figured out very quickly he hated being on camera, but he loves doing the hard stuff. So he does all the editing and that type of stuff. So originally, the thought was it'd be me and him, having that generational difference of opinion, Too Opinionated. So we would get on there and argue. But then he didn't really like that. So we pivoted to more of an interview show. So now we do celebrity interviews, and that's went great. Took off.
Well, I love that it's a father-son affair. This is cool.
Oh, that's the best part about it.
Yeah.
The only reason I agreed was because I wanted to spend time with him, and then it turned into something. So
that's awesome. Well, good for you. I'm happy to be here with you guys.
I'm so happy that you're here, and I want to talk about the clothing line, but I got a couple quick questions from a fan standpoint. Okay. So, do you think The Sopranos would have been as popular if it had actually been about opera singers?
That's so funny. You know that I thought it was about opera singers, right?
I know. That's why I was asking, because it got me thinking. I was like, well, what if it really was a show about opera?
Oh, hell no. I mean, the only way it would have been remotely successful had it been opera singers is if there's no way.
Can you sing? Could you have sung on the show if it was opera singers?
I can't sing to save my life. Nope. But no, it's that mafia genre, man. People love the genre, first of all. I don't know if there's an opera genre out there. I mean, it would have been a musical.
Not yet.
It would have been a musical. It could have been wildly successful as a musical, say. What if it was a mafia musical?
Yeah.
Are you really going to cry this much?
He just wants a little attention.
No, she wants to go out this door, and she wants to break my balls for this door when there's 50 doors in the house. But you want to do this with me, and I can't open this door because it's jammed. So
I feel
no,
like
I
I've
think
had this
that
conversation with the grandkids.
look at her, look at her. She's so naughty, and you're just gonna squeak and squeak. What? Did you want to come up? Come, quick. Give me a kiss, quick. No? Oh, there she is.
No,
That's a good girl. Yeah,
she's a
okay.
good girl.
Yeah, she's a good girl. She's gonna let me go right now. Letty! Coge la gorda! I have to get her out of here or she'll cry the whole time. Go with Letty. Go outside. Ella está llorando, en puta, no para. Okay, we're back.
Does the dog speak Italian?
The dog speaks Spanish.
Oh, Spanish. Okay.
She's Mexican, Chinese, Sharpei.
See, I should know that. My wife speaks very good Spanish. You think I would pick up on that, but obviously I do
Is
not.
she Spanish?
She's yeah, she's Mexican.
Oh, she is. Okay.
Yeah.
I was raised by a Nicaraguan lady, so in my mind, we always joke because I'm from New York. So
Yeah.
Mexican, LA is lots of Mexicans, but New York, we're more Puerto Rican. So we always joke around that I'm Puerto Rican. I'm Puerto Rican. It's me.
I like that.
And my kids too. We all speak Spanish at home.
What's your go-to food though? Is it Spanish? Is it Italian? What's your preference?
I mean, I go from Chinese food to Italian food, but Letty, who lives with us, she like our family member, she cooks every night and she cooks all of my old Italian dishes for my grandma.
Ooh,
But she
yeah.
also cooks the most insane Mexican ever, hands down. She is the best.
Well, I'd have come over for lunch. We could have done this. I'd have flown out.
So good. So good. She makes the best fajitas, best steak fajitas, like insane. The best chicken tacos. But now our favorite are like a chicharron, like we make the big pork in the oven.
Ooh, yeah.
Down, and then we deep fry it and make tacos. It's so good.
I'm getting hungry.
Yes.
Do
Big meat eaters here.
you have what's your opinion about the finale of The Sopranos? Good finale? Controversial finale?
I think it was the greatest fucking thing he ever did. I mean, I was like, how is he going to top himself now at the end? Because I had already been off the show for a year.
Yeah.
And I was watching it just like a regular fan with a house full of people, just like the rest of America. And my TV went out and I lost it. I lost it. I was like, my TV's out. I'm so sorry, guys. Holy shit, I'm sorry. Like, let me figure this out. And then I was like, wait a minute. This isn't a TV going out. And I called my friends from the show and I go, dude, is that the ending? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I'll be damned. That's fucking brilliant. I was like, if they would have killed him, the fans would have been furious. If they would have kept him alive, the fans would have been furious because of all the haters out there. And what better a way to go out with the biggest water cooler conversation during the history of The Sopranos water cooler talks ever. This was going to top every water cooler conversation that was ever had over the show. And it's going to be over technology. It's just going to be over so many things. And they were still going to hate no matter what. But I thought for me, way to leave it abstract, and the diehard fans can paint their own picture if they want. But I think I've heard that David has said that he dies. But I'm not sure.
I have heard that, yes.
I still don't know. And I don't care.
I always wondered if we hadn't lost James at some point, do we would we get another Soprano project? Because that's kind of the thing now, is bringing back all the popular shows.
No, I know.
Yeah. And we did get the prequel, which was pretty good. The movie. We got the little prequel movie, but I think all of us kind of were hoping at some point to revisit the Sopranos, and we didn't get that, which maybe that's for the best.
I think that, I don't know why David would ever water down or cheapen the majesty that he already accomplished,
Yeah, I agree. Because what are the odds that you're going to be able to top it?
Even the film itself, like, again, that film that they made would have translated better to another series.
Yeah, agree.
And I thought it would have been a great series. As a film, it didn't. It just there was so much going on.
It was a lot for a 2-hour film.
Yeah, it definitely needed time.
Yeah,
to unfold. You know.
So I wanted to ask you about Joey as well. I was actually a fan of Joey.
You were.
I was.
I watch it now on Instagram. There's some fan that's posting the videos, and they're just
not
short
me.
huh?
It's not
Is it
me.
you?
Not
They're
me.
short clips, and I'll be honest with you, man. I watch them all, and I get a real kick out of it. I love it. I didn't like it when I was doing it.
Yeah.
Neither did Matt. We were both really pissed off. We didn't think that they were, working hard enough and like in what we actually wanted to accomplish or what Matt really wanted. He had a real vision for it, and it just didn't get to where he wanted it to be. I think I let everybody down a little because I wasn't a comedic sitcom actor.
I disagree. I thought you were really good on there. I like the fact that you weren't really comedic. I thought that added to it.
I mean, it was funny. It was still funny no matter what, but I just didn't understand the technicalities of doing a show like that. It was new for me. It's like doing theater. It's really like going back to the theater, except there's all these film cameras with you. And I was going through a crazy time because my dog was dying. So I was really immersed I would walk out onto set while the dog was actively dying in my dressing room on diarrhea everywhere. I mean, like, 'cause we were doing chemo backstage on the dog, like all kinds of crazy stuff. So there's all these scenes where I'm out there like hysterical and doing all these big scenes, but I was just hysterical crying before I walked out. So
that's awful.
Crazy to watch them and be like, holy shit.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's terrible.
Piece of trivia for you right there. But we had a blast. We did have a blast on Friday nights. We took over that studio after the show. It was the old friend studio.
Yeah.
I was in Jennifer Aniston's dressing room. And we would go between Matt's room and my room, and the party would be massive, and it would go till the next day.
That's awesome.
And apparently that's what the guys from Friends did, and it was the whole crew of Friends, so they wanted to just keep that tradition going. So Matt and I and the rest of the cast, Jennifer Coolidge, like we would all just party down. It was really, we'd have food ordered for the whole night, so we would just keep eating through the night and drinking, and it was
great. Sounds kind of fun, actually.
We had a lot of fun.
Was it difficult coming in because you were both coming off of these massive hits, which is difficult to replicate, and most spinoffs don't do well. Some do, but most don't. I mean, that's a lot of pressure coming in.
Yeah, it was a lot of pressure, and I think there was more pressure on Matt. I mean, I was coming off Sopranos. Sopranos was still on, but this was Matt's baby, and he was trying to walk me through it because I was so green.
Yeah.
He was amazing, but he knew that I was really uncomfortable doing it. But it was an experience, and the one takeaway from it is I adore Matt, and we had a really good time. And everybody in the cast, actually, I loved that cast, and I loved the crew. And it was just overall, as much as it was tough at the time, looking back on it as an old lady now, it's like, wow, that was awesome. And we actually had millions of viewers. But in comparison to Friends, that was not high.
Yeah, it almost had it was too much expectation wise.
Yeah,
because you're coming off of Friends, and that what are the odds that you're going to do as well as Friends? If it did half as well, wouldn't that still be a hit?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were at 13 million viewers, I think.
I mean, look at it now. Now you've got shows that are considered hits that might have 1 million viewers.
Well, everything's overly saturated right now, but that 13 million mark to me was like, wow. But they still, we got canceled, but a lot of us didn't seem like, I think they also felt like we weren't into it at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I had gone to the head of Warner Brothers and I was like, I don't really know how long I'm going to last here, because I don't really think I'm giving it my best. Like, I just don't think I fit into this medium,
Well, comedies, it's a rhythm. It's kind of like music, and if you're not used to that rhythm, I can see where it could take a while to
Oh
get it
man,
down.
I was so intimidated, but watching Matt do it, one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah,
He's so good.
he's good.
He's the best. And he's also the best off camera.
He just seems like a pretty good guy.
He's good.
Yeah,
He's good. He's fun.
like he seems like somebody you'd want to hang out with.
Yeah, when we were doing that show, I felt like he was my brother from another mother, you know.
I mean, it's pretty great. At least you got the connection out of the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah, it was great. I haven't spoken to him in forever, but you know, it was that was my one time in the sitcom land, and it was with the greatest. So
You know, if I was a better podcaster, that would have been my moment to bring him on off screen as a
oh
surprise
my
guest.
God, I haven't seen him in forever.
So you mentioned that you haven't been acting lately. So what have you been up to?
We started a clothing line called Ultrafree.
I liked your website.
Oh, you like my website? Oh,
I
that's
do.
cool. We're
Yeah.
thinking about changing it, me and my boyfriend, because it's a lot going on, and sometimes they say it's a little bit of a deterrent, that it's not simplified enough. And what we're noticing is people are ordering just two shirts now. There's a
Oh,
trend. Everyone ordering the
interesting.
two shirts they see on the site because there's like a rotating thing.
Yeah.
Um, so now it's supposed to be dumbed down.
Okay.
It's kind of a you know, we want everything to look the way we want to see things, but other people don't like that.
Well,
And it's
are
not-
they? Did you decide to dumb it down after I visited the site? Was it
no,
because?
we haven't done it.
Okay. Okay.
But you would
I
like
was,
the site because your background is cool looking. And a lot of people would rather just have some nondescript white. Do you
well,
know
they
what I
just
mean?
want it simple.
Yes.
Who wants simple?
I don't like simple either. I'm complicated. Oh yeah, I stopped acting over vaccine mandates and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and then I started a OnlyFans page to save my life and save my world, save my home. And we were originally going to do a podcast on OnlyFans, so that was why I joined. I figured I'll put it behind a paywall,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about some controversial stuff because we're too opinionated.
There you go.
And I put a picture up and it went viral. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm putting pictures up. I guess I'm not going to be speaking. I'm going to shut up and just put another picture in a bikini up because I've never done
If
it
it's
before.
working, why change it?
I mean, I left it at that, and it took care of a few things that we needed to take care of. And then we knew we had to pivot, that wasn't going to last forever, even though it's lasting
Yeah.
for the time being. We just launched a free page today, actually, a free OnlyFans page because mine was subscription based. But it's funding Ultrafree, which is our clothing company about trying to make freedom cool again. Because freedom has become like a four-letter word. And if you mention freedom in your Instagram posts or on this channel, YouTube might censor us just talking about freedom.
Isn't that crazy? That
We're in a
just the
crazy
word
time.
freedom can cause you
Yeah.
to be censored on social media. Yeah.
Yes. So we're just very
What would where'd the idea come from?
ultra free.
Yeah.
Um, well, it came from not feeling free
Yeah.
over the past 3 years, and I lost everything, and I almost lost my home over not being able to work within my industry unless I complied to all of their control mechanisms, you know? And
Has that not changed? You know, because we're not nearly as restrictive as we were, but are you
no, it's
still
changed.
running into
Well,
issues?
well, back then it was, by the time they dropped it all, I had already started losing everything.
Yeah.
And it was a storm of things. So it went from the mandate to my home flooded. So I couldn't even, once I took a forbearance, and then when
Hmm.
they wanted us to
There.
pay it back immediately, but they told us that it would be deferred to the back end.
Yeah.
We would call them and they'd say, "You're fine. You're not going to go into foreclosure. We already told you that's not going to happen." They put us in foreclosure.
Of course.
So I had to hire lawyers. I didn't have money for lawyers, especially if I wanted to pay back this thing. And then we found out we were stuck with like 4 different insurance policies that were not even covering my home. So now I had to pay
Whoa.
hundreds of thousands of dollars in insurance policies that weren't even mine, and my house flooded at the same time.
Oh my God.
So the house flooding was, at this point, I look at it like it was the noose around my neck because I was trying to sell the house. I've been here 20 years, but I thought I was going to lose my mind. But
Well,
thank
yeah.
God that flood happened. It actually helped us prolong the exit of the house, but then we could not sell the house.
Yeah.
And then the real estate company came in and said, we're going to give you a little bit of money to do some renovations because my insurance money was tied up. I still couldn't get it released. So I couldn't renovate the house to sell it. So now I'm going to lose the house from the flood.
Yeah.
So it was an insane storm of crazy things. I know people think that, actors are rich, and most of us do okay. And I always did okay, but I always knew that I'd be able to go work and that I could take care
Right.
of my family. I'm a single mom. I only took jobs that I knew would sustain me for a few years, and then I wouldn't work so I could be with my kids. I didn't want my kids raised by a nanny. I want to be with them 24 hours
Yeah,
a
of
day.
course.
I wouldn't take jobs in different states. I would always only be where their school is. Only New York or LA. They had two schools, and I just never anticipated that. And then as streaming was getting more and more intricate and all that, and all the AI stuff, um, the strike happens. But at that point, I didn't really care about the strike because I was mandated, and I knew I needed a card to work, and my daughter didn't want me to lie or pretend, so I
Yeah.
didn't. And it was just, then I took one job right after the mandates dropped, and we worked up until the night of the strike.
Really?
Right out of that, we worked up until last night before the strike happened, and then we were in the strike over the streamers and over, again, what it felt like is nothing but giant corporations and shareholders that have control over the
Yeah.
little man, and I wasn't able to do what I used to do in a free America. And as much as we're still free and America's the greatest country in the world, it was the beginning of really feeling the people in power chipping away at little things slowly, not slowly, as Trump was saying, bigly, bigly. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. But yeah, it just, once you see what's happening, you can't unsee it. And I started to become very interested in why we were all being pushed around so much, and I
Yeah.
realized our freedom has never been more important. And so many people have died and fought for us to have the lives we've had. I'm not saying our government is perfect because they've been doing terrible things forever, but the people in America, the people that actually care and understand what's fair and just and right, we started the brand for that. And we really started the brand to bring the left and the right together. The whole point
I love
was,
that.
yeah, like no more of this. You can't let them divide us because they just want to conquer us. We need to stand against the power that is trying to hold us all down and trying to keep us fighting and distract us with social issues and all of this stuff when there's something so much bigger
Right.
happening behind the scenes. And that's what ultra free means to us, to get back to a place where we can feel a little more innocent again. And there's so little innocence left.
Well, we used to be able to argue intelligently about
Yeah.
whatever we believed in, and nobody really cared. At the end of it, you're just like, well, okay, good luck with that. And you moved
Yeah.
on. We didn't get all upset because somebody didn't agree with us. We just, here's my case. If you don't agree with it, fine. It's not going to change how I do anything. So, but we got away from that. And now if someone doesn't agree with you, they're wrong. And I
Yeah.
think that's just a terrible way to be. We ought to be able to debate things and talk about things and have different opinions and still be one nation.
What is amazing to me is that we have the internet, which has kind of destroyed a lot of things.
Sure.
But the good thing about it is it's an information highway. And if you look deep enough, you can, I mean, I know that we're censored nonstop and the media is controlled and we know all this stuff, but if you go deep enough, there are places to find more information. So
Mhm.
the people that are saying you're wrong are usually the people that are not doing any of the research. I never think I'm right about anything. I'm just
Right.
curious. And I don't understand how we've become a nation of people that think they know everything without asking any
Right.
questions. And what did we teach our children? Like we've taught our kids to not follow other people. Oh, if your friend jumps off a bridge, so are you. Like,
Right.
what? No one's thinking critically anymore. I mean, even my kids in their super Christian school, every day they come home. My son will be like, preaching stuff out of the Bible and stuff. And I think it's cute and it's cool and everything. But because I want him to think critically about everything,
Yeah.
even when he comes home talking about that, I'm like, well, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. You need to not condemn anybody for the way they believe or think. You need to have critical thinking always and always ask questions, even of your faith. Like, always have questions. And I'm just trying to teach that to him while he's young. He can have unwavering faith eventually.
Well,
But
that's
right,
right. That's right.
I don't want him to be an extremist on any side because right now, extremism all over the place just
Yeah.
seems rampant. Do you know
Agreed.
what I mean? Like
I
always be
do.
open to listening and sharing opinions and hearing someone's story, where they came from, why they are the way they are, why they made their decisions. Never judge.
Well, we
And there's
stopped
so much
asking
judgment.
questions. Whatever our belief is, whichever side, we just go with that. We don't even ask any questions anymore. That's my side, so it's right. And that's a
Yeah,
terrible way to be. Even
terrible.
if you agree with the majority of that side, you should still be asking questions and hold them accountable. And we don't even do that anymore.
Accountability is big. And being able to admit you're wrong when you're wrong. Like I definitely don't. I've only been speaking out recently. It
Yeah.
took me 3 years to start talking out about any of this stuff because in my industry, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
Like, you're really not allowed, and I never got canceled, but I canceled myself because 'cause I'm like, "I don't think I can hold back anymore." Like, I just I look at my children and I'm just like, this is not the way. You have to find the truth, always, like, at least try to get close to it. Don't just believe everything you see and read and just swiping all day. It's like, "Oh my god," you know?
Yeah. It's too mindless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Who
nice.
came up with your designs for
Robbie is the mastermind behind everything. Robbie Stabler, he's the drummer from All Them Witches, and he
Oh
started a new
yeah.
band called UV Ways. And UV Ways will be his new band with pro skater Evan Smith is the singer, and no one really knows about that one yet. And that's going to be really exciting, especially for the whole skating community and
That's
all,
cool.
because it's so good and none of it's released. They put out some like pandemic stuff that they were
Yeah.
like joking around, but now they're going to be putting out a whole new thing. But at the moment, we're just working ultra free all the way. And, look, if we sell some shirts, great. But if we don't, that's okay too. We just want to get the message out there
Yeah.
that it's time to come together because the evil is not at your next door neighbor's house. Like it's behind the powers that be. It's not even the people in power. It's the people
Well,
that
if
not be.
if the powers that be keep us bickering, then it keeps us kind of controlled. We can't really fight against anything if we're fighting amongst ourselves.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think people just aren't paying attention. They don't believe it. They think everything's a conspiracy. And well, when all the conspiracies come true, I don't really know if we have conspiracies
That's
anymore.
right.
You know,
It may
yeah,
not be a
it was a
conspiracy.
conspiracy. People were conspiring against the American people. So, you're like, I wish I didn't have her on my
No,
show.
no. I think we've already solved it. We fixed it. It's just a matter of we got to ask questions. We got to not just follow blindly along, and we have to be tolerant of each other. It's not that hard.
Gotta love each other, man.
Yeah.
Gotta love each other and definitely ask why. Why did you switch who you're voting for? Why do you care so much about, like all of these political things that divide people? Who cares? all the social issues, not important at this moment in time. In another moment in time, yes, but right now, if we don't really fight for our freedom, that's the real freedom behind all the social stuff, we're not going to be able to even figure out the social stuff.
No, that's right. That's exactly right. Yeah, that's well said. Well said. And I love the website. I think it's really really
That's
in the
cool.
well, yeah, and the stuff's actually it's cool. Like I'd
Well,
like
that's the
that
thing,
stuff.
man. We got to make freedom cool again. I mean, now people associate you talking about freedom with like white nationalism, and it's like, no, man, freedom was the fabric of rock and roll, and we're still rock and roll hippies, punk rockers. You know, the fringes of society, the rebels, the people that are saying hell no and fighting for the smaller person, you know, and somehow that's gotten lost, like, you know, with all those big words of you know, inclusivity and stuff like that, that doesn't exist. It's a fake word people are throwing around. Everybody is trying to shut each other out when they all need to come together and fight the power and stay free. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
No, but that's good. That's what you're
And I'm
saying
running
is
for
right.
president.
Yeah, I mean what you're saying is right. Whatever side of the political spectrum you fall on, I mean, it's right. We should be asking questions. We should be challenging each other, but not, being against each other just because our opinions are different. That should be fine. We've got the freedom to have our own opinions. That should be fine.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, remember those shirts that were coming out in the middle of the pandemic? Like, think while it's still legal. I mean, people were afraid to think things, you know. It's crazy.
I know it was such a weird. I mean, obviously, we hadn't been through something like that in 100 years. It was pretty strange, that being quarantined at home for. I think for the first couple of weeks, most of us were like, okay, that might be all right to take a break for a couple of weeks. But then it was a month, and then it was several months, and it just kept going on and on. Eventually, we all just got worn out with that. You can't hide forever.
I think that even beyond that, like, yes, in the beginning, it was all of those things. But then when you get past it, or even while you're in it, just the acknowledgement that somebody in power managed to shut the entire world down for all that time, and that it was all done together. Like, it was should and there were enough people in all of these cabinets that would facilitate this plan. And I think that that is something that the American people, you know, I think that 50% get that, and then the other 50% still haven't even began to understand what that was all about.
Well, it
I
may be decades before we're
Yeah.
really able to look back and
I
see
think
the
people
impact.
need to try though right now before this next election, if there is gonna be one, which I have my doubts about it.
That
I don't know if that we'll get that far.
I mean, we're in kind of well, not really the home stretch, but we're what about 6 months out now.
Yeah, well, just takes
Well,
one
we could all blow up.
one
We know
event.
that.
God knows we're in a poly crisis right now, so we got a million different, you know, things firing
Well,
up.
even just a bigger picture outside of the U.S., it's it's a difficult time in the world right now,
Well,
and it's kind of
that's what I'm
scary.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's
And
scary right now.
and we're all over it, man. This country is all over it.
Well, we always will be. I think we're always going to be right in the middle of it. So
We got to
we
get back to no more wars, man.
Yeah, I haven't enjoyed the last few years. We got a little spoiled there. We had a little stretch where we didn't really have those conflicts going on, and now they just keep springing up.
Oh, I think that was all by design.
I think I'm going to have you back because we could
You'll
dive
have me
deep.
back. I thought you wanted to kick me off.
No, we got. I think we could really dive deep.
I mean, I gotta have a target on my back soon.
Are you 100% done acting, or are you still open to it if something comes up down the road?
I feel like what I do for a living at this point, even if I were to, I got dropped by my agent and everything. Like
Mhm.
it was, they were like, yeah, well, if you know, there's nothing we can do with you at this point. I'm non-compliant.
Right.
Make me a rebel, you know. I've always been the good kid too on every set. I've never caused one problem. But I don't know. I don't feel like I need to hide behind a character right now, and it all
Yeah.
feels a little frivolous to me at the moment. As much as I love entertainment and I want everybody to keep doing it so that they can entertain me when I'm watching stuff with my kids. Um,
Right.
I don't know that anybody, I don't know. I don't know. You know what? If it were the right project, if
Yeah.
it was something that I really, really loved, and it kind of landed in my lap, but I can't see myself jumping through hoops for anything in particular at the
About
moment.
soprano opera singers.
Well, I mean, I was with David Chase, and he said to me, "I bet I could get you to come out of retirement." I was like, "Listen, only if you make sure I'm talking like this, because I want to talk like this again." It's true. I would love to play another Italian American. I love that world. I love the culture. I love where I come from. I love my heritage, and I love New York Italians. It's so much more fun than just talking the way I talk. Like, I'd rather play a character like any one of David Chase's
I
types of
mean, I wouldn't
characters.
be against hearing you say Christopher again,
Yeah,
but you
I
said
was
it
waiting
like a
for that.
billion times during that show.
Christopher. I hated saying it. I hated saying it. I felt like I sounded so fake.
No, I think that kind of like Soprano fans, that was kind of our
Oh, I
thing.
know.
We
It's
lived for
like,
you saying Christopher.
oh, I know. When I walk down the street, come on, just give me one Christopher. I'm like, this is my how you doing. Well, Matt and I would laugh about that. I'm like, fine, you're how you doing. I'm like, Christopher.
That's true. That was basically your catchphrase.
I know. And I went to David and I go, hey, can I just call him Chrissy? So I call him Chrissy a lot too. He goes, no. And then he would write more and more Christophers. He's like, no, I like when you say the whole thing. I was like, I sound like my accent is so phony.
No, you
It's
didn't.
a hard one for me. I don't know why. I guess I would normally just say Christopher. Christopher. What's
Yeah, but
that?
that's no fun.
I know. Christopher.
You gotta put a little bit into it.
Yeah. Put a little ass in it. Little Adrian, the new OnlyFans fan page. I called it Adriana La fucking Service fan page.
Oh, I love that.
The free page. So that's going to be my Sopranos fan page. It's where Adriana went to die on OnlyFans.
Hey, at least we're in a situation where you can do that to make a little bit of money. I feel like that's a good use of social media.
You know, I felt I couldn't believe that I struck not gold, but some good luck with that because I was so it just that was not possible for all the other people that lost their careers during that time. Nurses, firemen, military, everybody
Right.
said I don't want to comply, and then they go from heroes to zeros in a flash of a minute. And that's another reason why Ultrafree was born. It's like, well, wait a minute. What about these people? Like now they're the fucking enemy? Are you insane?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just and the fact that I could do what I did, I felt guilt in it. Like I need to do this and put some money towards a charity. I'm still trying to figure out what we're in so much debt here
Right.
trying to pivot into ultra free to continue moving forward with that. And if that company blows up to anything, then we will try to do some sort of funding for people because, again, inclusivity
Yeah.
did not exist. They took those frontline workers that were on the news every single day in those hospitals, taking care of everybody, and they just completely decimated them. And and no one cared. The American people did not fight back.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I was working part-time in the hospital system here local during that while we were launching the podcast, and it was rough. It was a pretty rough time.
Not fair. Not fair to do to your good, you know, American people serving their country. Anyway.
I know.
Way to bring it all down. Sorry, everybody out there watching the show.
It was going so well.
Way to bring it all down. But it's true, man. What the like? What have these people done? But I can't help but get upset with us too for not being the rebellious to be like the French that just like we're gonna fight for our
Yeah.
people. Even the Canadians were doing it, and
It is a little disappointing.
I went to the mandates, and I couldn't believe how nobody showed up there to a rally, a some freedom rally, and nobody was there in the state of California. It was us and like I think maybe a couple thousand people.
Yeah,
And
that's really not a very big group.
no, but it's okay to like go and destroy a few cities. That's okay to do stuff like that. But like this is actually just trying to peacefully protest what a medical choice like abortion. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, but you can't catch a pregnancy. Well, you couldn't catch fucking COVID either because it was coming out of the fucking vents everywhere you went.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was no way really to avoid it. You're going to catch it at some point.
No, there was no way.
Yeah. Most of us have had it at least a few times.
Yeah.
With that, and it does suck. I mean, we're going to be dealing with it probably forever, but now it's just it is what it is. Now we're stuck with it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dre, thank you so much. I was so excited to have you on, and you definitely didn't disappoint. This has been great.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I hope I didn't talk about too much. I don't know what your show's about, but I hope I wasn't too. You don't have pictures of presidents behind you.
Well, if you call it too opinionated, you can be opinionated about anything.
Okay, good. All right. Well, thanks for having me.
And, I hope we can do it again at some point. Maybe we can check in down the road and see how all the stuff's going.
Sure, if we still have internet in a few months. But while I have you here, please make sure that you put ultrafree.co in your podcast. And I mean, if any of these boys want to go to the Adriana La Cerva fan page, that's OnlyFans. But Ultrafree on Instagram has 2 A's. Just so you guys know, on Twitter and Instagram, it has 2 A's. It's a brand new Instagram page. So we're just trying to get our new followers and all that sort of stuff happening. And then
it's good stuff. Like I told you, I liked a lot. I like the bears.
Oh, you like the advancing bears,
the advancing
bears, the Grateful Dead bears.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, we're definitely about protecting our home.
Yeah,
and each other.
Well, and it makes sense. You had a scare with your home. Makes sense. You want to protect it.
Oh yeah, but there's many reasons why we all need protection these days.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So before I let you go, Dre, how about your regular social medias? Where can we find you there?
At Drea de Matteo, DreaDematteo.
Yeah, it comes right up. I think you're it. Like if you put in Michael Wall, Michael Wall, there's 100 of them, but you put your name in, it's just you.
Oh, well, I was shadow banned for a few months, so my name didn't come up for a while. It'll probably go back. It'll go back to being shadow banned again.
I didn't even know that was a real thing.
Oh, it's real. They said I was naked in a picture. I've never even put a picture of myself in a bikini up, I don't think. But it was a picture of me fully clothed. But then I looked to see what picture was posted right before or after it, and it was a picture of my daughter with Robert Kennedy, and that was why they banned me. Because it happened right after that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. Like you hear about that, but I've never met anybody that's actually happened to. That's terrible.
I appealed it a lot, and I couldn't get it undone, and then it finally undid itself.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Because I've been out in the news talking about it every day.
Probably. Yeah, you probably overcame the ban just by being out there.
Yeah, because I say that had a picture of Kennedy up, and then I'm giving Kennedy press, and they don't want him to have any. So the more times you mentioned Robert Kennedy, you're gonna have to delete this from your podcast if you want it to air.
I'm kind of curious now, so I'm gonna leave it in.
Leave it. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. All right, Dre, hold on one second. Drea de Matteo. So happy that I got a chance to talk with her. Been a fan of hers for a while. I hope that we haven't seen the last of her acting, because I think that would be a real shame. She's so talented. Hope you enjoyed that one. You know, those of you that watch or listen to the program regularly, you know, we do not or we try not to give personal political views on things, and I think that's probably the right decision, because as a podcast we want to expose you to all of the opinions. So we bring on people from all sides, all beliefs, you know, and I think that's the way to do a podcast. You know, you don't care what I think, and that's okay. You know, that's not the point of this podcast. The point is to connect you with talented, interesting people. And hopefully we've done that. Dre definitely fits that list. I'm such a huge fan of hers. I'm so glad we got to at least touch on Joey and the Sopranos. Really interesting stories there, I think. You know, we could have went through her whole career because it's terrific. I loved her as Melissa in Swordfish. Of course, she was Wendy Case in Sons of Anarchy and made an appearance on Mayans MC. She played Barbara on A Million Little Things. Loved her on Desperate Housewives, I think. Angie maybe was the name of the character, but she was on there for multiple episodes. Spin on the Mindy Project, Californication, Law and Order SVU, CSI Miami. Of course, Shades of Blue. I can't believe I forgot Tess. I meant to ask her about her thoughts on Ray Liotta. When she comes back, we'll make sure to do that. She also made an appearance on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So hope you enjoyed that. You know, here at the Too Opinionated podcast, we are closing in on 800 episodes. And my opinion, the majority of them are as good as that one. Our guest list, I would put up against anybody else. Talk show, podcast, anybody. You know, we've had 800 or so guests on the program. Today we put out episode 763. I'm very proud of that. So hopefully you enjoyed the program. If you're finding us for the first time and you'd like to support us, we could definitely use your help. You know, we're a small town father and son team. We're doing all of this. It's just me and Brett, you know, doing this. And that was great when nobody was watching, but now that we have this audience and it's kind of turned into something, it's a lot on the two of us, but we have so much fun that we're just going to keep putting them out there. We're fairly high volume, usually about 4 episodes a week. You can find all of those, audio and video, on our website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. If we're doing anything in studio, covering a convention, going on location, anything we have going on, be on the website, meistercon.com. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please just subscribe. Those subscriptions really help us out. They're free. MeisterCon Pod on YouTube. And then lastly, I'll mention IMDb, which is the entertainment database, recently named us a top 100 podcast. 15 million or so podcasts out there. To make anyone's top 100 list is pretty special, especially when it's IMDb. So you can check us out there, imdb.com. Look up the Too Opinionated podcast. It's free. The traffic on our page really helps us out. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody. Hi, everybody. I'm once again here to ask for your support. It's been a big year for the Too Opinionated podcast. Back in February, we got to live out a dream, moderate for William Shatner here in our hometown. In May, we passed 100,000 downloads on our YouTube channel. And we followed that up in June with 50,000 downloads on the audio side. We recently posted our 600th episode, which is pretty good volume for just a father and son operation. Not too many podcasts can keep that volume up. We've been doing this now for 4.5 years, 600 plus episodes. We recently hit 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is a really big deal for us because we've always gotten the views, but have struggled to get people to subscribe. So that 1,000 was a big deal for us. And best of all, we were recently named one of the top podcasts on IMDb, which is the entertainment database. Those that are ahead of us, we came in at number 82. Those that are ahead of us are bigger companies like Disney, mostly Marvel, and Joe Rogan, that type of podcast. So for us, being just a small West Virginia father and son podcast, to be in the top 100 out of 15 million, it's a pretty big deal for us. So thank you for everything you've done for us so far. Got a couple little ways, though, that you can help us, and they're free, and they're really easy. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel yet, please go to YouTube. It's under MeisterCon Pod. Just hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Really helps us a ton. And maybe even more important, if you could go to IMDb, imdb.com, look up the Too Opinionated podcast, and just look around the page. Just having that traffic on the page really helps us out. So that's a couple easy ways that you can support us, even if you're not listening or watching all of the time. And we want you to listen and watch, because I think that our guest list, I would put up against anybody, any other show, podcast, anybody out there. I think our guest list holds up. So please check us out. You probably will find somebody that you like, or maybe somebody that you didn't know you liked, but kind of discovered them on there. There's tons of that. If you're into music, we have that too. If you like books, we've got authors on there. If you're more into what goes on behind the scenes in the entertainment world, we've got producers, directors, video artists, anything you can think of that happens behind the scenes, we've had them on the show. So definitely check us out. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.